Hi everybody, it's me again. So I posted that little short, whatever, video last time. Said some stuff about Coney, said some stuff about the government always wanting to exercise military force in countries where they have no business in, with all the problems that are going on right now at home. And a buddy of mine added Korea to the list of countries that we have troops in. And then don't forget, so that's actually, that would make, I think, a sixth country that we have troops in, if not more. But yeah, we can see why prices at home are going up when we don't manufacture anything and we keep spending money. That's bad. Like if you never get rid of the debt and then you keep spending more money, obviously. But anyway, I guess I was trying to avoid doing a little snippet about 9/11, but I'm going to have to do a little 3-minute one just so, 3 minutes or longer, just so you know I know what I'm talking about when I talk about the situation. But anyway, I'll give you the official and kind of my take on the 9/11, and not really just my take, a lot of other people, who have based their careers off this information. I'm just putting it out there. Information is defined. I'm just giving you that nudge forward in your mind to go seek it for yourself. I'm not saying everything that I say is going to be completely accurate down to the T. I'm just saying that if you do have any questions about the things that I'm saying, feel free to look it up for yourself, because I'm not an encyclopedia and you have a brain of your own. But, okay, anyway, about 9/11. Al-Qaeda is allegedly bombed or whatever, ran planes into Pentagon, World Trade Center, 2 towers, and other stuff. Okay. A lot of the first responder reports were censored from the mainstream media. A lot of the first responders heard bombs go off in the very bottom of the building, and like there's floors being taken out like at rapid speeds, like, and the collapse at free fall speed. Scientists say couldn't have happened unless there was like something else that helped bring the building down. You know what I mean? Like, because they showed footage of buildings that burned way longer than that and never fell. So I'm just saying. Okay. Now, whatever you may or may not believe is up to you, but it is fact that after 9/11, there was very little media coverage about, evidence of the rubble picking up. Cleanup was very, very quick. They had it cleaned up almost instantly, so no forensics could be done. And people who have taken samples have found, explosive residue in the samples that they have. So, just saying. Also, back in the 90s, like when I was just like 95, 96, whatever, when Conflict Desert Storm was going on, I'm not sure on the date, I just know it was in the 90s, Clinton was in office, right before Bush. But we know for a fact that Osama bin Laden's got ties with the Bush family, especially in areas of weapons and trade and commerce and all the good, which is good. We need to trade with our neighbors. I'm not saying that's bad in any way. We need to be making friends. We're making way too many enemies. That's our problem. Okay, but part that they didn't tell you is during this time, during Conflict Desert Storm, there was this task force created. They were called Freedom Fighters. They made games about it, whatever. These people existed. Okay, so the CIA trained these Freedom Fighters to go and forward with a Western agenda over in the Middle East. And this has been going on since the 90s. And Ron Paul says in some of his speeches it's been going on way longer than that. I don't know all the info. That's something that you should probably look into, which I'm actually going to continue to look into because I'm curious about it. But with that being said, before 9/11 we had interests in that area, and then the people that were freedom fighters that the CIA trained and placed Osama bin Laden at the top of, the head of, commanding, they stopped wanting to play ball around 99, 2000 in that area. Like the years winding down to September 11th. they became interested in areas that we're currently occupying. So scapegoat them, be like, the people that we just trained, the people that we just gave weapons to because we trained them, chemical weapons, yes, we gave them to them in the 90s, so they might have had chemical weapons, but not the ones that they were claiming to go find. Because of course they knew they had the ones that they were like, oh, we're going to go find these, because they gave them to them. So it's ridiculous. So that's why I always say there wasn't any chemical weapons, because they didn't break the law by accepting a gift from the Bush family. You know what I mean? I mean, they probably did, but I mean, he was our president, so how can we be like, oh, you can't accept a gift from the president's family? So that would have been ridiculous. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. The same people that allegedly attacked us on our soil, you trained 10 years, less than 10 years. It was less than 10 years before the attack. So it leads me to believe that there's room for, you know, abuse, because the media never even reported this to the citizens. A lot of people never knew the ties between the Bush family and Al-Qaeda were there. All these dots are there to be connected. If you don't believe what I'm saying, I encourage you to go look it up. Prove me wrong. Comment on it. I got a Facebook. You know how to find me. It's not hard. I'm just saying. And everybody knows that Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They did not have nuclear weapons, as in atomic bombs. They didn't have them. And need I remind you, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, Korea, one of the Koreas, south or north, probably the one that's not our ally, were researching weapons of they were researching how to build nuclear weapons. And this is back in the 50s, mind you, but we didn't go in and knock their doors down then, probably because they didn't have any oil. You know what I mean? And then it brings me back to the Uganda situation with coming 2012. It's just something for people to like point and stare at and be like, oh my God, this is going on, when you ignore everything that's going on right at your home. You know what I mean? We're not getting Ron Paul coverage. Ron Paul won Idaho. They're not showing any of his positive highlights. Actually, he's getting blackballed by the media. And these are the problems that I'm just trying to address. I'm not really saying, oh, riot in the streets. I'm just saying, hey, get some information and look at it and really, really question it and come to the choice, or come to the conclusion that, hey, is this the truth or is this a lie? And usually the way I base it is when the government usually tells us something, it's usually the opposite. Like George Bush passed this law called the No Child Left Behind Act. This was when I was in about maybe a little bit past 4th grade. I didn't really know too much about it, but even back then I knew it was backwards, because what that law does, it cuts funding to schools with lower test scores. So if you're a kid who's struggling and you get bad grades for whatever reason, you're going to get less funding for that school because of the kids that are getting bad grades. Whereas the kids that are getting good grades that don't need as much help don't receive as much funding. That's backwards. That's ridiculous. I mean, man, I don't. That's a very good example. But if that's not a good enough example, look at the Patriot Act. Not even 7 weeks after 9/11, they passed the Patriot Act. It's supposed to promote patriotism. It does quite literally the opposite. I actually took the liberty of writing down a short list of things that it did, because I went and got some facts. It expanded the military's ability to gather third-party information on you and me. So it means like any data that's being held by like a police station in Ohio, I'm in Oklahoma right now, and like they would have access to for years and years on end, even though I haven't technically even committed a crime yet. You know what I mean? Why do they have innocent people information on file if they haven't done anything? It's like Minority Report. It's like pre-crime. It's trying to prevent stuff that hasn't happened yet. But doesn't that take away our individual liberties? I would have to say it does. Not only that, it violates the Fourth Amendment by permitting secret searches without warrants. But then again, it's just a move to do it more in our face. Because if you look at this bill, it does give them freedom of that. But I'm sure you know somebody who had their house raided or searched without probable cause or without a warrant. So again, the Patriot Act further broke down these barriers between us and our government or law officials, whatever. And then intelligence searches, like, Facebook's monitored by the CIA, Google's owned by the CIA, YouTube's owned by the CIA, just another example. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover on it. If you have any questions or comments, just feel free to question or comment. Like, I'm open to any suggestions, videos, or information that you might want to put out there. Also, I'm open to any criticism. Like, I'm not going to get mad. That's what this is about. It's about you being able to have someone who doesn't really care that you think differently than I am. That's what this is about. You can have an opinion. I'm not trying to force my opinion down your throat. I'm just putting information out there. I haven't said, once again, I haven't said anything that's false. And honestly, I've had way smarter people than myself tell me these same things on numerous occasions. I've been studying these things and things of this nature for about 4 years now. I'm 21. I started when I was 17, so I know a little bit. That's all I'm trying to say. You guys have a great day. Spread the love and keep fighting the good fight.